Hey everyone, welcome back to the RPGames YouTube channel. My name is Ralph. We are going through our childhood, struggling with the fact that we're a commoner and we so badly want to be a noble, but it leads to to a lot of beatings, that's for sure. The year is 1124. Today, Father ordered the dinner table to be brought out into the yard. For the first time in months, he's home, outside of the confines of his always locked study. He spent the entire day playing with Nathan and you, discussing various matters with Stefan, now an adolescent, and walking in the garden. And now with dinner under the open sky. Your entire family gathers together, with Father at the head of the table, smiling. He asks each of you about your studies. Nathan climbs up on his knee and recites a counting rhyme in a funny sing-song voice. Stefan mentions that his fencing teacher praised his accomplishments. He rises from the table together with Father to show his skill in a practice duel. Next comes Gloria's turn. She stands on her chair and recites a lengthy prayer by heart. Mother showers your sister with praise. Father chuckles quietly, hiding a smile in his mustache. When your turn comes, you recite all the ranks in the Legion, from common soldier to high commander. Stefan listens to you with a skeptical look on his face. Night slowly falls, but the servants ensure that the yard is well illuminated. You don't feel cold in the dusk tonight. It feels good, yet so important. All of you are finally together, sitting at the same table. No fighting, just smiles. No arguing, just pleasant small talk. Then a servant approaches Father with a letter in his hand. He reads it in the dim light, and each line gradually washes the smile off Father's face until only a stone-cold mask remains. Mother looks at Father with an unspoken question in her eyes. Gregor Brante is coming back to Anizotti. He's the head of our family, my father. Oh, great. Ever since the news of grandfather's impending arrival, there has not been a single day when the house has not been cleaned or decorated. Your parents anxiously make sure everything is in order. They tell you to wash your face and hands after walks and scold you for leaving books on the floor. They tell Gloria she will be flogged if she's ever seen hiding in the attic. They make Stefan stay in his room. Even baby Nathan gets in trouble. Everyone is on edge. Then one day grandfather arrives. It's a grim day, so hot your neck is sticky with sweat. Father, mother, Stefan, Gloria, you and Nathan, the entire Brante family stands on the porch in front of the house. The house servants lined up behind you. Carriage arrives and out steps a tall, gaunt old man with a heavy walking stick and a heavier gaze. You cringe instinctively. Good health to you, Father. Children, greet your grandfather as you've been taught. Still trying to look like a real nobleman, are you? You can't fool me, Robert. I was the first of the Brante family to be ennobled by the mantle, and I'm the only one who remembers how to bear this burden properly. Oh, great. I live honorably by my lot. Your marriage to that low-born wench cut us off from ever becoming nobles of the sword. My progeny could have been born bearing noble blood. Father, I beg you, this is not the place. Yeah, dude, you just arrived. You're already giving my dad some grief? What a douchebag. Grandfather's eyes him with scorn and walks into the house, the entire family following close behind him. I've been away far too long. The entire house is a mess. This is an insult. How can you live in such a pigsty, Robert? Servants have grown far too lazy, all thanks to your commoner of a wife. I warned you, did I not? And yet you did as you saw fit. And the children, what do they know of the tradition of honor? They are being raised in a virtuous family, father. And now you're speaking like a lowborn who's content to live in humility. Twins willing, now that I'm here, this will not happen again. I'm taking your oldest son to the capital. See, you cannot provide Stefan with a proper education, so I will correct your mistake. Your brother's fate has been decided just like that. Father does not object. He orders the servants to prepare Stefan for the journey. Stefan freezes in place, glancing at grandfather and father again and again. The latter puts a hand on his shoulder reassuringly. Grandfather's lips are a tight line, white with contempt. The house is examined room after room. Everything grandfather sees is showered with scorn. He scoffs at a crease in a blanket, in Nathan's crib in your mother's bedroom. He mocks Gloria's knitting in your room. The door to your room is next. What is this, Robert? Tin soldiers in your younger son's room? He was born a commoner. I won't have him daydreaming of battle. Oh no. I feel another flogging coming. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Grandfather seizes the box containing the tin warriors of the Holy Order. Your father stays silent. Anger and fear boil within you. This is your big present from the first day of your studies. It means so much to you. But what if he's right? What if you need to prove your right to command the toy soldiers first? Grandfather shakes his head in disapproval and shoves the toy box into the roaring fireplace. If you wait too long, they will melt in the flames. What? Okay, so if I had a perception of 4, I could watch them melt helplessly. Great. If I had a determination of 4, I could have rescued them. Oh, that's a pity. I can burst into tears. Or I can, yikes, strike grandfather. That will give me +1 determination, +1 perception, and my first death. Yeah, grandfather, you're a dick, so you're gonna get kicked in the leg. There we go. Overwhelmed by helpless rage, you run to grandfather and kick him in the leg with all the strength you can muster. Yet he is immovable. The next thing you see is him leaning, towering over you menacingly, his heavy walking stick in hand. Yep, here comes the flogging. Low-born scum, how dare you raise a hand to me? The blow hits home. The handle of the walking stick is as heavy as a rock. You are dazed, robbed of both hearing and sight. Down comes another blow, a sharp pain splits your head, then darkness. Your hand twitches against your will, then again and again, like it is trying to catch a flying butterfly. Then you fall into the primordial void. The void takes away a part of you, one of the lives you were giving to live. It will never return. There is pain, desperation, a sense of loss. Nothing can be done now. My first death, great! You fall into a pain that embraces you like a soft feather bed. You feel light, free, there are no restraints, just a warm glow that envelops you in its secure embrace. The waves carry you, their softest touch, they delicately enshroud what was once your body. It's a feeling unlike anything you've ever experienced before. Something absolute and complete. You touch something greater. The reason behind everything, the reason for your very existence. You were sculpted from this light. It was the first thing you ever felt, the boundless and sincere unity of the diverse. Your beginning was a spark that cast this light in all directions. And now you are here again, one with the beginning of everything. The light gleaming from you resembles the light of the shining pillar. You still see it in the north, as always. The waves of light carry you to 2 figures. The elder is nearest, he is ready to accept you, he's quiet, wise, kind and pure. The younger waits further back, you do not know what he is yet. The waves pause at the elder's feet, he leans over you and plants a feather-light kiss on your forehead. The kiss spreads all over you, you are filled with unparalleled delight and bliss. You exist, you are unique, there is no one else like you. They know this, and they love you. You will never be alone, you are part of them, a part of your family, a part of this universe. The twin gods will never leave you. They watch over you constantly. The Elder softly touches you as you lie spread out amongst the waves, sending you further down the torrent of light. You float on to the top of the silver tree's spreading crown. The closer you get to the silver tree, the heavier you become. The waves draw you down along its trunk, but you do not wish to be part of the warmth and the softness with your love. You turn around. The Elder is still watching you. He nods. All is as it should be. Go, your time has not yet come. You must return to the world now. As you tumble down towards your body, you comprehend the true meaning of your lesser debt and the divine love that has been revealed to you. Love exists not only in the hereafter, it's present in the entire design of the twins that is the origin of life in this world. What is the manifestation of this love in your mortal life? What is the manifestation of this love in your mortal life? The Empire. By creating the Empire, the twin gods cared for all living creatures. The Empire is the only thing that gives us a place in the world and a connection to others. It's an enormous family made for people by the gods. The Lot. Gods give you a clear mission in this world, thus gifting you your own being. This is the manifestation of their love for you and for all living things. Family. Love always lives in kindred blood. You share the miracle of life and the universe with your kin. Your family is what you are given upon being born and what you leave behind when you depart. A cause. The love the gods have for you is so great that they allow you to change the world they have created, to influence it with your deeds. Whatever your mission is, it's a proof of the twin gods' love for you. Yourself. What could be a stronger manifestation of love than your very existence? Your every emotion, every thought, every action exists by virtue of the love from which the twin gods created you. Or I don't find the answer that I seek. Well, it's gonna be, I think, myself or family. Let's say family. A sudden comprehension of the love with which the entire world is imbued illuminates your mind. Then it fades away and vanishes. You regain the sensation of your flesh. It's heavy and unwieldy. It lacks that lightness, that light. It's a burden, it's smothering you. You gasp for air. Your chest painfully expands. You feel as though your lungs are about to burst. The stagnant odor of the crypt fills them. Revolting, but so real. You're back. Guess who's back? No. Then you smell a sickly moist smell. You feel dampness all around you. You come back to your senses in the gloom of your family's crypt, lying flat on a stone slab. Your parents are on their way to the crypt right now. You hear their muffled voices. They are arguing, and against all rules, Mother will not agree with Father. Why would Sir Gregor do this? He just took one of her child's lives. Lydia, my father is our family's head, and the boy raised a hand to him. There was nothing we could do, and Father did admit that he was too hard on him. Please do not anger Sir Gregor. You need to accept this. It will never happen to any of our children ever again. Their voices grow quiet as they lean over you. You lean on your elbows to try and get up from the stone. Mother gingerly wraps her cloak over your naked body as you shiver from the cold. My son, your first death came far too soon. I know it may be difficult to realize what happened, but know this, the twin gods are ever merciful. You're a child, and your time to leave for the hereafter has not yet come. You will be returned here by the gods twice more, but do not tempt fate again, and never ever defy those who can easily take your life. Randolph, you have angered your grandfather greatly. Do not stand in Sir Gregor's way ever again, and he will never hurt you again. For now, just stay away from him. Father stays a step away from you, not saying a word. When Mother finishes talking, he picks you up and carries you outside. Together, your parents take you from the family crypt. On your way out of the crypt, you take a moment to touch your head. It's perfectly fine, there's no sign of the blow. Back home, grandfather is still walking through the house examining the rooms. You can see that Stefan and Gloria are disturbed by what has just happened. Nathan starts crying when he sees you. The playroom still reeks of burnt paint. There is something new about you now, a pitch black stripe on your left arm. It looks like a strange bit of dirt at first, but it will not wash off. It will be like that forever, Mother explains. That is all she will say of it. Alright, so our grandfather has a distaste for us. Yeah, I don't mind that much. We have a determination of 4, so we're resolute. That is good. We are curious. And we died once. Yeah, okay. Father's Sword. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Because I have a determination of 4. Okay. So what does this do here? Destiny is showing something, I guess. Oh, okay. This is just an overview of what happened so far. And I guess the fact that I had this first death, so the other three options are not reached yet. When father is not working long hours, you often see him spending long stretches of time in the backyard practicing his fencing. You're allowed to watch, but that is it. You are forbidden from touching the sword, let alone actually learning how to fight with it. It's a new day today, and father has been busy in his study since early morning. Mother took Gloria and Nathan to the shops. Your studies are done for today. The house is empty. You spot father's sword hanging by the yard door. He must have left it there by accident after a training session. You deliberate at first, then grab the sword with resolve and run outside. Last, you have a chance to see it up close. It's a small sword used for dueling, heavy and devoid of any ornamentation. You recall that it was made specifically for him. The weapon is difficult to handle. Its heft makes the palm of your hand shake. As you get used to it, you try your best to imitate father's feints. Your technique leaves much to be desired, but at least something. You imagine yourself fighting for the family's honor as the thin blade slices through the air. I'm guessing grandfather Gregor is gonna show up now. But you swing too far back, the blade nicks your shoulder and cuts through your shirt, staining the fabric crimson. The sword falls to the ground with a dull clang. You try to apply pressure to the wound to make it stop bleeding, but all you do is make the blood flow faster. Randolph, what are you doing? It's just trying to kill myself with your sword, Dad. What does it look like? The familiar voice hurts you more than the cut of the sword. Father walks up to you briskly, his rugged arms strip off a length of cloth and bandage your shoulder. He squats by your side and pulls you into an awkward embrace. My son, why did you have to take the sword? You know you're not supposed to hold it, it's no toy. It's a weapon that can take lives. I know how you feel. I used to yearn for my father's dueling sword back when I was a lad. One day you might have a chance to earn the right to carry a weapon. But first you must have patience and study and become a noble. When that day comes, I will be proud to teach you myself. You rarely spend time with father without someone else around. There is paternal love in his voice, so much that even the cut on your shoulder barely hurts now. You would be glad to be convinced by what he says, but how can you forget your dream? How can you abandon it just to earn father's approval? Is it right for him to ask so much of you? So I can get more willpower and relations +1 with father, or I could get the fencing lesson, get my determination at 5 and lose the willpower. So I'm at -5 willpower then, I guess. Let's ask Father to teach me the basics. Yeah, let's see what happens. Father's inquisitive look presses you for an answer. Takes you a long time to muster enough courage to speak. You beg him to teach you how to fight, at least the very basics. It will certainly come in handy in your future. It will be your first step towards becoming a nobleman. Now it takes Father a long time to respond. He's about to speak and you expect a refusal, but he says nothing. He draws a sharp breath again, but remains quiet. Then finally, he offers you the sword. But remember this, Randolph, you are not a warrior, not yet. You will study this like you study your lessons. He teaches you the first lesson right away. You learn to dodge attacks. There are several times the tip of the blade cuts the air dangerously close to your nose. It's scary and difficult, but you manage. From that day forth, Father teaches you the foundations of sword fighting in great secret. You use your passion for tree climbing to explain the cuts you received during training. Soon you learn how to hold your own in a duel. Will you ever need this art in real life? So we are resolute still, but we are exhausted. I'm gonna need a choice where I gain some willpower. Hopefully that's not something that has an effect on my family though. The year is 1124, the master of the house. Soon grandfather leaves, your eldest brother Stefan goes with him. From that day on, Father's hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, the way of life in the blessed Archnean Empire. You often distract yourself from their instruction by playing with your younger brother Nathan. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother, too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stefan. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he's now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I've been studying with my peers. We're learning how to live as nobles in a noble society. We're also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favorite part. With Stefan now at the boarding school, grandfather arrives once more. This time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the empire, and has to travel there. One day you ask Mother where he lived before. In Eterna, she says, but now his place is here. Each time grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is not always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. This home is mine, and I will live here as befits a man of the nobility. Some days grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of sight. There is no way you can avoid family breakfast though. The food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She has been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table where nobody used to sit before. Robert, it's high time your youngest sons underwent their sacraments. Sir Brante, please, let them live free of the lot for a while longer. They are but... Shut your mouth. Robert, that wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she'll be eating her gruel with the servants in the kitchen where she belongs. It's time you considered a real marriage, Robert. One to a woman of proper station. Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down Mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate, his hands clenched into fists. Baroness L. Loder is one such woman. She is a comely widow and a fine match. She is suing for her inheritance right now and could use proper support and a husband. You can keep your lowborn Lydia around if you like, servant, mistress, I don't care. Jesus. I will not do that, father. I am the head of this family, and the family's standing took a severe blow after you married that commoner. It's unthinkable. How could you give up the memory of beautiful Amalia Elborn for this lowly woman and that bastard child of hers? But now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Father nods curtly, trying not to look in Mother's direction. Father, I wish to see Stefan. If I find your conduct in the Baroness's presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She's coming for a visit tomorrow, be prepared. Oh no! Here comes another beating. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it onto his plate, and leaves Mother's lips move silently. Nobody says a word, and then Father stands up and orders you and the other children back to your rooms. He needs to speak to Mother in private. Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts the crease on the woolen blanket. He distances himself from you after Stefan's departure, so you are not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you can see his face in the dark. There's a sour expression on it. My son, Baroness Emma L. Loder, will be visiting us tomorrow. Please be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. She has been crying for a long time. It hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets, your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has an uncharacteristically contented look about him. You hear the sound of wheels and hooves against the cobbles in the yard. Then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet and still, fearing Grandfather's observant eye. The door opens. You see your guest, a beautiful dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Father takes the hand of Lady Alodar and kisses it, showering her in compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Baroness, allow me to introduce your Robert's sons, Randolph and Nathan Brante. Frankly, it's his eldest, Stefan, who deserves the most attention, but he currently is studying in Eterna. With other young noblemen like himself, it is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Grandfather eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Oh shit. Will you accept her here next to your mother? Your father's rightful wife? Oh, that's gonna... Yeah, I can't do that. I can't walk away with my mom. So this needs perception. Demand that Mother will be introduced, yeah. Maintain my composure. That needs willpower. Or greet the Baroness politely. You approach Baroness Aloder and kiss her hand, following Father's example. Yeah, that's what is gonna happen. You follow Father's example and kiss the Baroness' fingers gently. Her laughter fills the antechamber, ringing like chimes. You gallantly offer to lead her to the sitting room. Lady Alodar graciously agrees. Behind your back you can hear your mother sobbing. Grandfather and Baroness Alodar engage in small talk over dinner. She tells him of the woes of litigation over her late husband's inheritance, and he advises her like the judge he is. Father is mostly silent, only getting in a word or two. You do your absolute best to behave yourself. After the decorous farewells to Lady Alodar, Father quietly thanks you for your model behavior. The morning after, he leaves for Eterna with Grandfather to visit Stefan. Mother spends almost an entire day in her bedroom. You cannot bring yourself to speak to her. Father returns from the capital in a quiet rage. You overhear your parents talking. Apparently Grandfather has already poisoned Stefan's mind against him, and he greeted Father with cold hostility. The name of Baroness Allodar is never mentioned in the house again. Okay, so at least my dad is sympathetic. Grandfather is still indifferent. My reputation goes up. Okay. Modest position. Oh, okay. I can become renowned among nobles. Okay. And unity, that's gonna probably be the family, yeah. The Kaleidoscope. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. Once he becomes so annoyed, he says that he wishes Stefan had been the one to stay home instead of you. You never expected to hear these words from your father of all people. Grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. It feels lighter around the house without his presence. You allow yourself a little change of scenery. Instead of your room, you now busy yourself with reading and calculations in the sitting room across from the open door to the yard. Gloria has joined you today. She has already helped you progress through several complex passages in the book. Right now, she seems preoccupied with a strange tube. Aren't you hurt by the way Grandfather treats you, you ask? Gloria just shrugs. Grandfather always says they should get rid of me. I'm used to it now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're closer to him. I just have to stay out of his way, that's it. She shows you the strange tube she has been holding all day. Look, it's a kaleidoscope. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside? Excited by the idea, you close the book and peer into the tiny hole on one end of the tube. Your eye sees a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colors. They mesmerize you. Kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in the fireplace into a cavalry made of flames. You're riding in front of the fiery horsemen, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lines and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. The patterns are unending, secretive, calm, and peaceful. Just like Father smiles before Grandfather's invasion. The deep blue gives way to a scattering of gold radiating gentle warmth like Mother's arms. This fleeting beauty too soon gives way to a hypnotic new pattern. Again and again you see your family in these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. And in the middle of this golden glow you see Gloria's green eyes, gazing at you observantly. Your sister left you long ago. The books are abandoned and time slips away unchecked, but you're still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again. You cannot preserve it no matter how you try. You're caught in an inner conflict. There is so much you can do with this kaleidoscope. Should you try and take it apart, or ask Gloria how it works, or keep enjoying the patterns it shows you? And you still have lessons to do today. Oh no. I want to do lessons. Oh, that sucks. So the only thing I can do is keep looking through the kaleidoscope. At least it will give me willpower. You continue peering in the ever-changing patterns the kaleidoscope offers you. They become truly interesting when you point at the shining pillar gleaming in the sky. In your mind's eye, one battle follows another, filling your ears with clanging steel and the neighing of horses. You're leading the Imperial Army now. Everybody's so proud of you. Grandfather says you're better than Stefan, and Father's stern voice cuts your daydream short. You lost all track of time. It's evening now. How did you get your hands on this toy, Randolph? Why aren't you studying? Give it to me. You will have double the lessons tomorrow. Well, that's fine. Grandfather's visits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He's become something that you are used to, something nagging, yet not unordinary. Like a splinter or a stain in your trousers. Tension still remains, however. Sir Gregor's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable, it almost stinks for real. Your lesson with the tutor are done for today. You're walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open door. You sneak up on your sister and tap her lightly on the shoulder. She's startled. Oh, it's you, Randolph. Look, Sir Gregor's eating something. Grandfather is sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another now and then. Inside the bowl you can see candied fruit, a sweet confectionery forbidden to the common estate, like all sweet things. Yet Grandfather's face shows no pleasure as he keeps consuming the high-born treats. Clock strikes 3. Grandfather rises from his seat, puts away the bowl on a shelf and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbow and looks at the candy bowl when you look at her. The first emotion you feel is fear, but the next comes curiosity, and it's stronger. Stefan used to boast that candied fruit tastes incredible. Now you have the perfect opportunity to try it. You try a candied fruit first. The sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it on your tongue. It's so sweet. You've never eaten anything as good as this. You take the whole bowl off the shelf and give it to your sister. She takes a fruit and brings it to her mouth carefully, like a rare treasure. Uh-oh. There's a thumping on the stairs, footsteps accompanied by the knocking of a walking stick. You have no idea why, but Grandfather is back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you. She's frozen in place with the ball in her hands. The door opens, Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arm. You squalid, ungrateful, low-born child. How dare you bite the hand that feeds you? You and your trollop of a mother would be sleeping in a ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. Sweet and pleasant things in life are for the noble estate, not for the likes of you. Did you forget your lot? His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls to the floor right next to where you are hidden. Oh man, I'm gonna hate this choice that's going to come up. Her fingers glisten with the warm melted sugar that brought you here. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready, but then he sees you huddling behind the armchair. Oh. Please don't hurt him, Sir Brante, it's all my fault, he tried to stop me. You can already see a bruise on Gloria's cheek. This is only the beginning of her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed, unlike you. You can still avoid your punishment. What is it then, milksop? Did you try the sugar too? Or were you trying to stop this piece of filth like she says? Oh my goodness. Okay, you start mocking Grandfather, convinced that Gloria will join him. That's determination. Gloria will like me more and Gregor will dislike me more. I can lie, that gives me more willpower. Or I can tell the truth, that gives me more perception. It doesn't affect my relationship with Gloria though. So let's tell the truth. You stand up and tell the truth, even though it takes you an effort to do it. You actually ate a candied fruit, but Gloria only touched it. You hope this will help your sister avoid punishment. You are quickly proven wrong. Grandfather's face is red with rage. He strikes you both with his walking stick, blow for blow. Am I gonna die again? He keeps hitting you until he grows tired. Then he leaves you where you are. Soon enough, Mother comes in to find the two of you on the floor, too afraid to move. She shakes her head in disappointment. You are badly hurt and covered in bruises, yet she still forces you to kneel and recite the precepts on the lots and how important it is to follow them. Then you stand before Father and Grandfather and swear to never take things that do not belong to you again. Okay, so Grandfather is still in... Oh no, he actually improved. Okay, because I was honest. Alright. My perception is 4 now. My willpower is -5 again. That's not good. The Ant Farm. This is an event, a consequence of previous actions. This is because I reached Perception 4. Okay. So there are specific events. Is that one of these? Oh, that's the inside one, probably. Oh, so far I'm doing good then, I guess. Your younger brother Nathan is growing. Mother spends more time with the rest of your family now. You help her and play with your brother and take care of him when she asks. You often go to Mother's room to sit at the foot of her bed after Nathan falls asleep. She reads you the sacred books and asks you about things you learned that day. During these moments, you see the world through her eyes as well. One day the door of your room opens and she brings in a large box covered with a piece of cloth. It's rare for you to see her so overjoyed. She sets the box on the floor and removes the cloth. The box under the cloth is made of glass and has a wooden base. Inside you see a layer of earth-shaped, carefully crafted passages. And these passages are full of hard-working ants. Randolph, this is my gift to you, an ant farm. It's a little world in a small box. We can watch them through the glass. Look, this is the queen ant. She is the reason all these little ants were born. You sit by the box together. You hold your breath as you watch the ant colony at work. There turns out to be a method to the ants' chaotic movements. Every single one of them has a task to perform. Some of them have larger mandibles. They are the protectors of the colony. They can draw blood from your finger. Others work all around the colony, repairing the walls and clearing any debris from the passages. There are also workers who collect food. You put in a special tray, leaves, bits of meat, maggots, and bring it to the rest of the colony. You take a worker ant and put it right next to the food. However, the insect has no interest in it. It starts circling around the tray aimlessly. Mother takes a stray ant and puts it back where it belongs. Is that a lesson? Why did you do that, my son? The ants cannot do what they weren't born to do. Each of them was born for their own job. You shake your head slowly. If only the ants could do whatever you wanted them to. This is your gift now, so they belong to you. Or maybe Mother's presence is the reason they won't obey you. This gives me a bit more willpower and a positive relation. Playing by myself gives me the insight and another perception. Yeah, let's go for the insight here, just to be able to scratch that off my list. You move away from Mother and pull the glass box towards yourself. She looks at you in surprise. She gave it to you. It'll be easier to learn about the ants on your own. Mother sighs and stands back up. Very well, I understand. You want to find your own answers. You've grown up so quickly, my son. The door creaks quietly as it closes, and you are left to your own devices. You spend a long time watching the ants at work, and then you decide to go outside and find some bugs to feed on. Find them some bugs to feed on, okay? I'm not eating bugs, okay? Once your hole is in the tray, you note which bugs they drag away and which they leave untouched. Day after day, you keep the tray full of food, provide the insects with plenty of water, and remove dead ants from the farm. Your tiny subjects still refuse to change their particular ways. It is just as Mother said, the ant farm is exactly like the world we live in. The ants will never know that you are there. And now we get to the Sacrament. I think this is a big one in our history. Father and Mother have been focused on Nathan and you since early morning. Instead of breakfast, you are told to say your prayers, wash your hands and faces, and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of your Sacrament. Mother, I want to go play in the yard. No playing today. You and Randolph are big boys now. It's time for you both to have your first sacrament. No one can live without a lot. Why is my brother getting it at the same time as me? I'm like 2 years older, probably. I don't want a lot. Be quiet and listen. You were born commoners, so you must accept a low-born lot before the twins. When you grow up, you will get a chance to earn a noble lot. Father and mother take you to the carriage. Nathan is hungry. He starts whining. Grandfather is the last to get in the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon the carriage is moving along the streets of Anizotti, slowly and solemnly. One more turn and you see the colossal white building marked by 2 massive pillars. For the first time in your life, you start to enter the Church of the Twin Gods. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. The church hall is divided into 2 halves. They are drastically different from one another. The floor on one side is rough and jagged and covered in dried brown spots, while the floor on the other is made of smooth marble. The commoners kneel on the jagged floor, and the well-dressed nobles and their families sit on pews. Father and grandfather leave you to sit on one of the nobles' pews. Yeah, so they are going there. Okay. Mother walks to the rough stone of the commoner's side and gets down on her knees. You see her wincing pain, for the lowborn estate shall suffer in the house of her fate. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar where you and other children will take your sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest dressed in black with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes this place. He's scared. You remain quiet, but your stomach roils in uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him and recites the word of his lot. From this day forth he will fight and rule and pursue arts, his mind now forever free from the throes of suffering, for now he belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Nathan is next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out of his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him towards the altar and throws him on the jagged floor on the lowborn side. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees, and as he lands, spraying drops of red around him. I don't want to, Randolph. Why do they want to whip me? What did I do? They could have explained this a little bit better to the child, right? I mean, you try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte's grip on you was too firm. You feel utterly helpless. Your little brother has to face the world all by himself. The priest starts reciting the words of the lot as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulders. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labor and humble in obedience to their rulers. Now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks. It strikes his right shoulder. It strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. The priest tells him to rise. He has received his lot. Nathan gets onto his feet and drags himself towards Mother, his knees torn and bloody, his spirit broken. Now it's your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. You get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below, so sharp your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. The priest's words are for you now. This is thy sacrament. Thou shalt work and endure and suffer. Thou art about to receive thy first true suffering by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept thy lot? So if I accept it, my determination goes down by 1 and my perception goes up. If I raise my head, I will get 5 willpower. If I catch the lash, I will get 1 determination and lose 1 perception. And if I kiss the sword, I will get the nobleman's sacrament. Gregor Brante +1, really? If I kiss the sword, My grandfather will be proud? Really? Let's do it. The whip slices through the air, about to strike, but your eyes are transfixed by the blade the priest holds in the other hand. You jump up and away, the lash misses you. You grab the blade with your hands. It cuts into them without mercy. The priest branches it away from your bloodied fingers. You look him straight in the eye. I am Randolph of House Brante. The priest freezes in shock. You seize this moment to pull the sword closer and kiss the smooth cold blade. You hear cries of outrage among the churchgoers. Mother prostrates herself on the jagged floor, racked with fear. Father remains still, baffled by what you just done. But grandfather looks at you intently, as though truly seeing you for the first time. There is a semblance of respect in his gaze. You are forced back to the commoner's place at the altar. The acolytes seize you by the arms and legs and keep your face bent closely to the bloody jagged stones of the floor. The lash strikes your right shoulder, then your left shoulder, then you're told to rise. You're a commoner. Mother takes your hand and leads you out of the church. Once you're outside, she scolds you for being insubordinate and bringing shame to your family. Nathan holds your hand as you walk, his tearful face a mixture of confusion and awe as he looks into your eyes. But you do not feel as though you have made a mistake. You did what was right for you. Yeah, I was going to prepare my own destiny, right? Okay, so grandfather starts to like me now. That's good. Determination is 6, perception is 4. And my willpower is -10. Okay, I need to increase my willpower here. And I think I reached the end of my childhood, no? Childhood's end, indeed. The mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long time to heal. Mother says it's a reminder of your lot, suffering and sufferance, pain and patience. Gloria shows you the mark of the lash on her shoulder one day. It will never disappear. You're a commoner now, this is the lot you were born into, but Father keeps telling you to study hard so you may yet earn a different lot and become a noble of the mantle. You recall the past with warm sadness, when Stefan still lived with you, or when he wrote to you for a time shortly after he left. Now he thinks it beneath him to write to the commoners and his family. Mother didn't look herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born. But most importantly, you missed the time before your terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. You learned the true power of the lot only after the head of the family's arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is it just him? Or is it the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You're older now, and what's more, you're an elder brother now. You've learned how to care about someone else, how to teach and protect. Soon you are a small boy no longer. As the days pass, play gradually gives way to laborious study. Now your choices will decide your place in the bizarre and rootless world of adulthood. Your childhood years are over. And so was this episode. Let's see where we go. I think I had all the yeah, this is just like a summary. I think I had all the events. That's good. I only died once. And we're going to continue in the next episode. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're enjoying the content, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you want to follow along on how Sir Randolph Brante is going to continue his life. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you in the next video.